Hi everyone, this is Lychee from the Lychee channel, and today I'll be posting this recorded commentary on my personal channel here. We are going to be watching DOU5 versus GG from IVL Summer today. It's the first game of the 2023 summer season, so I'm very excited. I really wanted to do this as a live stream, but unfortunately I've been sick recently and just haven't really felt up for live streaming or being on camera. If my voice sounds a little bit weird today, that's also because of being sick. So hopefully you guys can bear with me today, and we'll have some live streams either here or on the Lychee channel later on throughout the season. But really exciting today because we get to see the top two teams from Call of the Abyss 6, the champions DOU5, plus of course GG, the runner-ups. And the teams, especially GG, they have had some lineup changes, so this should be pretty interesting to see how they've held up after the change. And of course there's a new IVL ban pick system, which is pretty interesting. We'll see it come into play here as well. But for now, the ban picks are already starting. It looks like GG's Hunter Xiao Meng is up first against the DOU5 Survivor team. Pretty much no changes to DOU5's team here on the Survivor side. You can see that they've kept with their championship team members, which makes sense considering they did so well. But look at that, we have two rescuers in the bans here, and the forward has actually come into play in round 1, which is something we didn't really see a lot during Call of the Abyss, but we might see it more often now that the hunter has essentially more ban spots for this season here. The other survivors, I would say, Antiquarian always very, very ahead in the meta, and then you have the supporter here coming in along with the decoder. So one of the interesting things about this season as well with the ban picks is that the first two survivors that are picked in round 1 are not allowed to be chosen in round 2. So that kind of gives the hunter automatically 2 extra ban spots in round 2. And I believe it's like the first 4 survivors that are chosen. So the first 2 survivors that are chosen in round 1 plus the first 2 survivors that are chosen in round 2 are auto banned for round 3. So that gives the hunter a lot more ban spots in round 3 basically that are just auto banned. But we'll see how this holds out. We are seeing Chinatown as the first map here, and pretty standard map pick for the Chinese teams. They really do love Chinatown. Oh, this is a Night Watch coming in round 1. First match here, we can see the audience is also super surprised to see this Night Watch. I will have to say, I did expect to see Night Watch in the summer season, but I am a little bit surprised to see Night Watch come out in the first round, first match. That's very early, especially because we know GG's Hunter Xiao Meng is a very strong Bonbon player. Bonbon has forever been his first round pick, unless you go back to when Violinist was back in the meta and stuff, but ever since the early seasons of IVL, Bonbon has been Xiao Meng's main character and first round choice. So it is quite interesting to see him come out with a different selection here with Night Watch. Night Watch is of course a very strong chase hunter and very strong in mobility as well. I kind of picture Night Watch to fill in a role kind of like Geisha or Soul Weaver or like that kind of role. But we'll see how Xiao Meng here does picking him out in round 1. We'll see if this comes out as kind of a surprise to the Survivor team as it was to me, or maybe they expected a little bit more since they are a bit closer to what the other hunters play. We'll see, because they do have 2 harassers, but they also have 2 kind of weak links on the team in terms of easy targets. The psychologist and the mechanic, of course, don't have too much resources to use during a chase, so that could be advantageous for the Night Watch, having 2 very optimal targets here. And this is going to be an insolence and confined space, or sorry, this is detention and insolence for the hunter. So peepers as well, very interesting. We'll see how that plays out, of course. They've gone with a different style for this pregame animation as well. It's always been like the characters in the game and the maps and stuff, but this time they decided to show the players, so that's kind of neat. Alright, looks like Psychologist is going to be run into first, and actually Nightwatch has caught up pretty quickly considering the Psychologist was kind of in a sort of safe two-story area. For now, this is a very early hit from the Hunter. Ooh. We see a peeper being dropped here, and this, jumping right over this pallet here. We'll see how much longer he can last. It looks like another very quick hit is coming right up onto the survivor here. Another pallet here. This time he does have to break the pallet and keep going after the Psychologist. There's no blink here, but we do still have the peepers around this area to slow down the Psychologist, and she is going to go down before she can make it to this pallet. We do see Forward is here. Oh, going in for a stun as well, but the Hunter actually dropped the Psychologist in time. What is this little heartbeat monitor by the survivors here? Is that like the actual players' heart rates? That's kind of interesting. I don't know what that is, but the interface feels like it's getting more and more crowded with more data. Alright. Cypher progress is actually... there's not too much progress. 2.5 ciphers done. Forward here though, trying to pull more football, but this wasn't really effective here, unfortunately. Can he make this rescue before half as well? Oh, actually does make this rescue before half, which is very nice. And we see Psychologist goes on last effort. And Forward, we'll see if he decides to heal up. Oh, but actually, the Hunter goes right for the Antiquarian. We'll see if the Antiquarian can make it back to the area in time to try to get some harassment here. Looks like she is at the staircase area. Should be trying to come in for a stick here. Oh, seems like she gets it. Now he just has to hit the right survivor. This does allow the survivors to get in a little bit more cipher decoding while they go on this harassing here. But it looks like the Hunter should be able to get her on the chair for the second time. And at this point we have 3 completed ciphers and 2 half ciphers. The mechanic being out there with her bot there was really helpful. In this case, they're able to get a free rescue, but because it's a little bit early, they decide not to go for that free rescue and actually buy a little bit more time. Oh, actually, still gets a no-hit rescue by utilizing her stun. Alright, well, it looks like the Hunter should be able to eliminate her. Antiquarian only has a tiny bit of stick left and was kind of not in the right position there anyway. So at least this is 1 kill for the Hunter. Looking close to a tie match considering Antiquarian almost out of item. We have the mechanic here who only has a little bit of the robot left, but they should be able to still prime the ciphers and play it out to endgame with hopefully 3 survivors left. Ooh, let's see. Managed to get a hit here on the Antiquarian. She did use her flywheel earlier, trying to dodge the effects of the wind, I believe. Now they're playing around this area with the peepers. He's trying to get an advantage. Oh, can he get this here? He actually does get this hit here. The ciphers are not quite yet primed either. So he does get another chance to camp. Forward here has a little bit more football, but we'll see how this goes. They had to start a new cipher, so it did slow down the decoding a little bit. Otherwise, they would have had enough cipher progress. Oh, and we're going to see a quick break here, it looks like. I'm just going to skip ahead since this is a recording after all. Alright, back into the game. And in this case, the survivors were kind of chased off of their ciphers as well, so it actually is looking like a hunter having a potential slight advantage in this at this point, rather than it being a tie game. Oh, looks like the forward actually got himself an elbow pad, which is a nice find. But this mechanic here has no items. Takes one hit, still can tank one more hit. We do see the last cipher is rapidly being decoded. And she's down. Looks like the cipher is just barely available from being popped. Not quite in time, so mechanic is going back on the chair and forward has to rescue one more time. He is at full health, and this is a chance for him to swap off this elbow pad and give it to the mechanic. It doesn't look like she got the elbow pad, so she'll have to run back for it. But hopefully she can run towards that way as she gets hit here off on borrowed time and snatches the elbow pad right, just like that. Somebody is already at the gate decoding as well. I believe that's the Antiquarian. She does decode gate a little bit slower, but oh, that's the forward who's decoding the gate actually, so it is being decoded normally. At this point, the hunter looks like he's going to most likely target this mechanic. Unfortunately got stunned here, and the mechanic... Ooh. The mechanic unfortunately doesn't seem like she's gonna be able to get out. Oh my gosh. We can really see the effects of her buff coming in here. Ah, now she's down. So at the end, wasn't able to make a grand escape with the elbow pad. Still kind of locked in the area from the hunter, and we see a tie game to start us off. Well, starting off with a tie is certainly not bad for the hunter. And for both sides, it's really a pretty acceptable start. Let's go ahead and skip to the second half of the round. I will say these new uniforms are quite interesting as well. I wasn't a huge fan of Gigi's old uniforms, but I'm not sure if I like the new ones that much better. I think I might actually like them a little bit better than the former ones. Well, I don't know. They're very red. That's for sure. They're very red. I always wish there was a third color or something. Like some black on the uniform somewhere? I don't know. Well, we'll see. The teams have swapped sides, and we have GG's survivors here, along with the hunter from DOU5, DOU5. GG's survivor team, we do see they do have a new survivor here. Fulan is the new survivor. So we'll see how they do along with the rest of GG's team here. They are going with some pretty meta picks. We do see the female dancer and Antiquarian, as well as locking in that stable rescuer, the mercenary. I do wonder if the new survivor is going to play the mercenary, since the survivor that left their team used to be their rescue main. And we're going to see the professor as well. So GG, of course, has to throw in a little bit of specialty for their specialty picks. Otherwise, it wouldn't be GG. And we see that for DOU5's bans here, he's banned a lot of supporters, including those that can tank hits or help their teammates heal up. We do know that he plays a very fierce Dream Witch, but of course there are other options as well. I'll wait and see what he decides to go with. Insolence Dream Witch was starting to get popular this year, so I don't know, maybe we'll potentially see more of that in the summer. But with Dongx, it's not guaranteed that he'll play Dream Witch right off the bat either. He plays so many hunters, but it is going to be Dream Witch. His very special Dream Witch. Dream Witch is also the character that he had chosen to get the Call of the Abyss skin, so definitely his a very special character for him. Well, we'll see. Antiquarian does pretty well against Patroller Dream Witch. Of course, this Dream Witch doesn't necessarily have to bring Patroller, but that is still a little bit more common. Female Dancer, I always feel like she could go either way against Dream Witch, but we have seen some pretty impressive plays from Female Dancer in general. And then Professor, I feel like is actually a little bit difficult. The timing of the shield. But it'll be interesting to see how he plays. GG has also been a team that historically has not really been able to hold their own against Dream Witch, or at least not be able to get an advantage when playing against Dream Witch. So that is kind of one of their weaknesses. We'll see if it remains to be a weakness or if they've been practicing hard and have been able to improve against the Dream Witch. It is going to be Blink, and we do see that this is an Insolence Detention Dream Witch. So this should be interesting.
现在进入到比赛后面，本场比赛由斗5的监管者对上成都记忆的求生者，有解说梁哈皮、林芷为您带来 IVL 实时赛况解说。
Oh, it's the Dream Witch skin. Very fancy. And it looks like the Professor is actually going to be chased first. Actually is going to pivot here. Oh, going after Female Dancer instead. She's been chased away from her box area here. We do see the followers catching up very quickly, unable to get the hit here initially. A little bit stuck here from the other follower, unfortunately. She was able to place down another box and pirouette away, and the main body has to move again, so buying a little bit of time here. However, we do see that Blink should be up quite shortly. Oh, flywheel utilized already. Here, if she drops down the pallet, we should probably expect to see a Blink. Does use the Blink right here from the main follower. The only good thing here is the spawn no longer has the Blink, however, the leech is still available here. And adding the next leech onto Professor, and she's picked up a scale as well. Alright, let's see. We do see that the followers are coming in here for a sandwich. Looks like he is going to jump, however. This has taken a little bit more time than expected, perhaps, and the scales actually were played effectively as well right there. Very good job on the timing by Ku Cao. And forcing out another blink here and taking the leech hit. Not a bad kite at all from the female dancer. We see here there's 2 ciphers as well as 2 more that are on the way. Pretty decent progress on the ciphers for a first kite. This box stepping animation is kind of funny from the follower. And we do see that they have the mercenary, played by 18 this time, closing in. Was able to rescue before half, so that was a good job from the mercenary. A nice fake there from the female dancer. Oh, and we actually did see the flywheel was used, but unfortunately a charged attack from the hunter still takes her down. So very nice control on the hitbox from Dongak's side. And we see the Antiquarian is coming in to harass as well, but we do have 2 followers around, so that should help to mitigate the harassing. Plus the rocket chair is right here. But he's actually going to chair her on the other side where the decoding is happening. So going for some cipher pressure here. Well, we'll see how this goes. They are getting some progress on the other 2 ciphers out there, while this one is being guarded. And the mercenary does seem to be nearby. Oh, it's actually able to pull off a no-injury rescue here. And is going to go for a body block, but unfortunately, very accurate hit by Dong X still downs the female dancer, my goodness. So this is going to be female dancer's elimination, I believe, and we now have the Stream Witch here going after the next target. Let's see if the Stream Witch can keep the survivors at bay, prevent them from grouping together and healing up, prepping the endgame for herself. For now, she appears to be prioritizing applying pressure across the map, making sure these ciphers cannot be decoded, making sure they can't meet up and heal. And Antiquarian can't really do anything right now except try to de-leech. They are starting a new cipher by the professor on the other side of the map. Mercenary so far has also managed to preserve his 2 elbow pads. We'll see if he can hang on to those until the end game. And Antiquarian does have quite a lot of her stick left as well. We'll see who the endgame target ends up being. It does seem like the cipher is about to be primed, I believe, by the professor. And they just pop it right away without waiting for a hit. At this point, Professor can go for the gate on the far side. Dream Witch is going to go after the Professor here. And we see that the Mercenary is decoding the other gate at the moment. Antiquarian also making a run for the Mercenary's gate. Oh, Professor here is going to go ahead and take the leech hit on the other side of the map. The gate is not as close to being open as I expected though. So we'll see how they play the rest of this out. Of course, the Professor does still have self-heal. But we'll see. It does force the Dream Witch to come back. She has to re-leech him. So it looks like they are going to be able to get some progress on the other gate in the meantime. And we do see that blink hit onto the Professor. This is looking like most likely a tie since there are no followers on the other side of the map where the other 2 survivors are. And yes, it is going to turn out to be a tie game.
还有1分钟左右，60多秒。
对，主要是我个人觉得哈，这个信徒，你除了
Not a bad job from each side here. This ties out round 1 with a draw coming from both sides.